Hello and welcome back. My name is Jack B. And as always, thank you for viewing my video. It's a good thing our subconscious can take in and sort through a billion bits of information a second, then send the filtered few bits of information to our conscious to understand. But even at that, it's tough to make some sense and put some credibility to Trump's assertions and actions, not to mention his erratic behavior. NBC sat down with Trump for an interview on Friday, June 5, 2026, and aired that interview Sunday, June 7, 2026. President Trump abruptly ended his NBC Meet the Press interview after being repeatedly pressed by host Kristen Welker to provide evidence on several important issues. Number one, for his continued unsubstantiated claims of election fraud regarding the 2020 presidential election. Number two, for his unsubstantiated claims of election fraud regarding the current ongoing California primary. Trump claimed it's taking California days to count the ballots because they're cheating on the election. Welker asked, "Do you have evidence to support that?" Trump responded, "All I have to do is look." Welker responded, "But that's not evidence." Number three, Welker questioned Trump about his controversial $1.8 billion weaponization fund and whether the January 6th rioters and convicted felons would be entitled to this money. Then the president accused Welker of being either crooked or stupid. He insisted that there's more evidence than ever presented and that the 2020 election was rigged. After a bit more dialogue, the president again called Welker and NBC crooked, adding that he thinks the same thing about ABC, CBS, and CNN. Trump then said, "You're a one-sided crooked network. And, sorry, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time." Trump has stormed out of other interviews in the past when he didn't get his way. In October 2020, he walked out of a 60 Minutes interview with CBS News' Leslie Stahl, voicing complaints about tough questions. In January 2022, he ended an interview with NPR when he was challenged about his 2020 election claims. Trump's assertions that the war in Iran and the Middle East will be over very soon sounds like fantasy. Israel and Hezbollah are continually exchanging heavy fire, most recently on June 7th and 8th, 2026, with Hezbollah launching rockets and drones into northern Israel. Then the Israeli military responding with airstrikes on Hezbollah strongholds in Beirut's southern suburbs. Iran is trying to link the Hezbollah and Israel issue to the ceasefire. They are trying to compound the issue for their benefit, protect their proxies, and draw out negotiations for years. That's what they do. Hezbollah is an ally of Iran and a fighting army that does Iran's bidding. The Lebanese government does not want Hezbollah in their country. They feel they are also being held captive by Iran. Trump recently tweeted that Iran and the U.S. are very close to an agreement on the nuclear issues. Something will be out soon, possibly this Wednesday. Trump has also stated that if an American service member is killed, then all hell will be released upon Iran. Iran most recently shot a barrage of ballistic missiles into Israel on the evening of June 7, 2026. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps fired approximately 30 ballistic missiles at Israel, specifically targeting sites like the Ramat David Air Base. Iran continues to attack U.S. assets in the Middle East. Since the ceasefire started, Iran has launched direct and indirect strikes against its neighbors and the U.S. Iran is also targeting U.S. assets and energy infrastructures across several Gulf states. There were notable strikes in Saudi Arabia, impacting major oil pipelines, and the United Arab Emirates, causing casualties at a major gas complex. Kuwait, Qatar, and Bahrain also reported Iranian drone and missile attacks targeting U.S.-hosted airbases and coastal surveillance radars. And in Jordan, Iranian missiles and drones have repeatedly targeted U.S. air defense and communication assets. It appears that Iran still has a substantial military complex to wage war. In addition, Iran is acting as the winner in this war. Trump claims Iran and the U.S. are close on the terms of the agreement. Are we? What agreement? Iran has submitted a clear list of demands to the U.S. to end the conflict. It is primarily focused on sanctions relief, territorial sovereignty, and regional de-escalation. Number one, lifting all sanctions and unfreezing of all assets abroad. This includes an immediate payment of $12 billion in cash and the immediate removal of U.S. sanctions on oil and gas exports. The remaining $12 billion to be paid after signing the agreement. Number two, regional de-escalation. An end to all hostilities on all fronts. An Israeli withdrawal and cessation of attacks in Lebanon. And a guaranteed U.S. troop withdrawal from the immediate periphery of Iran. Number three, Strait of Hormuz. Lift the U.S. naval blockade, an end to foreign interference in the Strait of Hormuz, and the recognition of Iranian sovereignty and management over the strategic waterway. Number four, nuclear rights. Guarantees protecting its right to continue uranium enrichment for peaceful purposes under the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. Number 5, reparations and guarantees, payment for war damage, reparations and formal guarantees against future military aggression. Iran suggested that either China or Russia police and back up the demands of the signed agreement. I suspect Iran believes they have the U.S. on the run because they are making very clear threats if the U.S. does not comply with their demands. Who knows what they would do if they had a nuclear missile now? Let's not forget the Iranian regime is a theocratic regime and they long to die as martyrs for their religion. Iran has threatened continued aggression. They stated they will keep the Strait of Hormuz closed to all traffic and seize or fire upon foreign-flagged ships attempting to navigate the vital waterway. Iranian officials have also warned of asymmetric attacks on U.S. forces using fast boats and highly cost-effective drones. They will increase the severity of attacks upon their neighbors. Iran has also explicitly threatened to close the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, a vital global maritime choke point dividing Yemen from Africa. Tehran warned that it would use their allied forces, terrorist groups, and pirates in Yemen to block the route to disrupt trade to punish Israel and the U.S. if the regional conflict escalates. The Bab al-Mandeb Strait is a highly strategic route connecting the Indian Ocean to the Red Sea. It is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, facilitating trade between Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. An estimated 10 to 12% of global seaborne oil and a massive volume of Asia-Europe trade passes through it daily on their way to and from the Suez Canal. The Iranian government still regularly chants and declares "Death to America." The slogan remains an official policy of the ruling regime and is a staple at parliamentary sessions, main Friday prayer services, and hardline demonstrations. For the Islamic Republic, the chant is a core ideological pillar of the 1979 revolution. The government uses it to continually signal its total rejection of U.S. hegemony, interference, and historical support for the former Shah. Despite the government's official stance, and before the Iranian war started, many Iranian citizens and activists opposed or ignored this extreme rhetoric. But after the recent bombings, it is hard to tell what Iranian citizens really think. Not to mention the fact that all the protesters were shot in cold blood by the IRGC. Then, strangely, a U.S. Army AH-64 Apache helicopter went down in the Middle East near the Strait of Hormuz on June 8, 2026, though military officials have not confirmed if it was shot down. Both crew members were safely rescued, but we may never know the truth as to what happened. In summary, what I see and read about the war and the Middle East does not match what Trump is saying. When I look at all the aggressive attacks that Iran and its proxies continue to exert, the fact that the U.S. is in a defensive mode, Trump looking the other way, and Hegseth and Trump stating we are close to a deal, I wonder if I should start to look for the yellow brick road. I already see a lot of flying monkeys and a wicked witch. Well, these are my thoughts for today. And again, whether you agree or disagree, please verify the information presented. Thank you. And until next time, take care and be safe.
Me na do it.
Ooh.